we will witness the arrival, the search, the desertion, the fear, the discovery, the friendship.
I'm keeping him.
The secret.
Hey guys, I'm Kevin.
I'm Jake.
And this is Movie Matters, continuing blockbuster month with E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial, Steven Spielberg from 1982. I love this movie. It is a masterpiece, in my opinion. It's so damn good. When I was a kid, I maybe saw this movie. Maybe. I don't even know if I did. Mm-hmm. I rewatched it a few years ago and loved it. And rewatched it again, obviously for this, which is hilarious. I watched it, I finished it yesterday, which we record our episodes every Thursday. So it's June 12th, but obviously this episode comes out, the 17th, is it? Is that Monday?
Something like that, yeah.
16th. So our episodes come out on Mondays. I watched this I watched this movie yesterday, which was June 11th. That is when the movie came out in theaters in 1982, was June 11th. So 43 years ago, pretty crazy to watch it. And that was not planned at all. So that's another crazy coincidence that we always have with this podcast, which is insane. So I thought that was a fun fact. But I absolutely adore and love this movie. How about you, Jake?
Yeah, I did like it a lot. My biggest gripe is that the kids are sometimes a little annoying, but overall the story is great. Like the set design, the effects, the writing is pretty fantastic. It's got a lot of heart, which is fun. It's definitely like a family, movie. Which is a little bit of a change of pace for us. So, it's nice to squeeze those in every once in a while. Yeah, I mean, it's a good movie.
Had you seen it prior to this?
Yeah, when I was young, really young, I watched it, one or two times.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know if I saw this movie as a kid, to be honest. I don't remember any of it. And then it came out in 4K and I bought it and I was like, I gotta watch this, and it looks amazing in 4K. Do you have it in 4K?
No, I streamed it in 4K and it did look really, really good.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't really, remember much about it either. A lot of the plot points went over my head when I was, 8 or 10, the last time I watched it. So yeah, it was good to watch it again, as an adult and kind of understand, a little bit more of what was happening. So
yeah, definitely. This movie had one of the longest theatrical runs ever. It lasted over a year. It was in theaters for.
Oh, that's
which
crazy.
Is crazy. It was
especially
the highest
now that it's 30 days.
Yeah, not even for some. There's some movies that literally will release and then the next week they get digital release because they bomb so bad. The The Weeknd movie with Jenna Ortega bombed and then went to digital right away.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie was the highest grossing movie of all time worldwide until Spielberg broke his record with Jurassic Park in 1993. This movie made $797 million. I don't know if that's added with theatrical re-releases because they did re-release it later in the 80s, but that's still, an insane amount of money. What's crazy is the movie was initially developed at Columbia Pictures, and they passed on the film, and then it was made at Universal. and Columbia still had like a 5% stake in the film, and it ended up being with just the 5% stake, it ended up being their biggest hit of the year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So there's a lot of great trivia on this movie. It grossed over $1 million domestically every day for 80 consecutive days, more than any film up to that point. It held the record for nearly 20 years until Titanic surpassed it with 101 consecutive days.
Wow.
Which I remember when Titanic came in theaters. I mean, we were young. We were 5, 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I just remember hearing it, like the Regal in Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
I remember going to the theater and hearing like the surround sound, like from outside of the theater for that movie, for Titanic. That's pretty crazy. But yeah, movie was nominated for 9 Oscars. It won for Best Sound, Visual Effects, Sound Effects Editing, and Best Score by our boy Johnny Williams.
Yeah.
Which the score in this movie is amazing, amazing.
Another iconic sound score. The main theme, is like another one that like everybody knows, even if they don't know that it's from E.T. Like you still know that song.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
it's so good. It was nominated for other Oscars. Obviously, it won those. It lost Best Picture to Gandhi in '82, and that was Sir Richard Attenborough's movie that he made, Gandhi, and he felt bad winning Best Picture over Spielberg, feeling that movie was more deserving of the award, which is funny and crazy.
That is funny.
And obviously, he ends up working with Spielberg in '93 on Jurassic Park as Hammond.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, pretty cool.
It's Ben Kingsley, right?
That plays Gandhi?
Yeah.
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 I've never seen it.
We watched it in like history class one year.
Was I in that class?
No, it wasn't.
Stadler?
Yeah, it wasn't that class. It was a different one. It was. I thought it was actually a pretty, like as far as 3-hour biopics go, it was actually really good.
Oh, maybe we'll watch it. It's an '80s movie.
Yeah.
'82 is a fucking epic year, though. Think about what else came out. The Thing, Blade Runner,
yeah,
82.
It's a pretty wild year.
82 was pretty sick. I want to see if there's anything else that 1982.
Which I mean, think about that. Like E.T. won all these special effects up against Blade Runner.
I know.
Which is kind of crazy.
Let me see.
I don't remember if Blade Runner was even nominated, though.
Oh, definitely.
It should have been if it wasn't, but...
I'll double check. Let's see. Yeah, Reds. 82, Best Director. Reds. On Golden Pond.
Because,
Oh, it's probably the 83 Oscars, is what it is. Because Raiders, it's showing Raiders of the Lost Ark, and that was...
Oh, yeah.
So...
Which, talk about another...
yeah.
Spielberg's coming right off of Raiders and making this. Which is insane to think about. Like, 2 of the most iconic movies of the decade, back-to-back, basically.
Yeah, definitely. Ben Kingsley won for Gandhi. Let's see. Art direction. Yeah, Blade Runner was nominated for Best Set Decoration, and it lost to Gandhi. We talked about that in our Blade Runner.
That's such a rip.
Das Boot was also nominated. That's another...
82, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think... Yeah. Crazy. At least at the Oscars, yeah. Best Directing. Best Film Editing. Man, Gandhi won a bunch of stuff.
It's those biopics, man.
I fucking hate them.
Everybody loves them.
I fucking hate them, though. Best Picture, Best Sound. Yeah, Blade Runner lost to E.T. I think we even talked about that in our Blade Runner.
We did talk about that. We talked about in Das Boot too, I think.
I think so too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the secrecy for this movie was so tight during production that even poster designers didn't know what E.T. looked like when they created the iconic first poster of a human and an alien hand touching. They only had Steven Spielberg's notes to go off of. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you now you hear secrecy on set of, like, Marvel movies and Star Wars movies and stuff like that. But imagine that in the 80s.
If they even keep anything secret anymore.
Yeah, but imagine that in the 80s. Like, how do you keep that shit secret when it's easier probably because you don't have the internet, but still pretty interesting. The set design right off the bat for the movie is awesome. You've got that kind of... Have you seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Yeah, but it's been a really long time.
Really good movie. The spaceship is like very reminiscent of that. Obviously, it's another Spielberg movie. Mm-hmm. So he is said to have Spielberg is said to have gotten the idea for this film from the end of Close Encounters of the Third Kind. When the aliens show up, Spielberg wondered what would happen if one of the aliens was stuck on Earth. Some fans think E.T. bears a resemblance to the aliens and the spaceships in Close Encounters. Pretty interesting. Yeah. I love Spielberg directs the shit out of this movie. Like, he's so good. And I love how the opening is just very silhouette-like, and your view is obstructed and obscured, especially from the aliens and the ship. It's always shot through these trees and through this forest, and you don't see things clearly, and it pulls the viewer in, which is genius. And you like want to move these bushes out of the way, but it adds to that intrigue, and it's so amazing.
There's like so much mystery and like intrigue, like you want to know what's going on, and then all those cars like show up out of nowhere, and you're like, shit's going down.
Yeah.
It's a super awesome like vibe that he sets up in the beginning.
Yeah, and you've got that character with the keys on his keychain, and he's called Keys. Like, that's kind of his like nickname. And like he's just showing the keys while the guy's running, which like adds to the mystery of like, who are these people? What's happening? It just pulls the viewer in right away, which is a genius directing like trick, if you ask me.
And like the entire setup of the movie is done with no dialogue, which is also really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, again, I think this movie's a masterpiece. Like, literally watching it again, I was just like, fuck, this movie's so good. And like so many movies and shows piggyback off this, like Stranger Things.
For sure.
So many homages to this. And the one kid, I'm jumping ahead, but the one kid that like the bicycle gang of friends from the older brother, there's one kid with like a vest on and glasses and headphones and a hat. He is Dustin from Stranger Things.
Yeah, for sure.
To a T. Like, that is exactly who they modeled Dustin's character off of in Stranger Things, is that exact kid. And I feel like I didn't notice that the last time I watched it, and I noticed it this time. I was like, holy shit. And the whole bike riders and, the E.T. being in the little like shed, that's an homage in Stranger Things as well. It's pretty interesting.
Playing Dungeons and Dragons in the opening too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's for sure a lot of
so many 80s references. Especially to this. Speaking of them playing the games, what does Henry Thomas, the kid, Elliot say? He says penis breath to his brother, which is pretty funny. Yeah. Henry Thomas is great in this movie. I know you said the kids are a little annoying, but like I like all the actors in this movie. I mean, Henry Thomas is, for his age, is incredible in this movie. He auditioned and Spielberg was like, holy shit, yeah. Like, Henry Thomas thought about the day his dog died to express sadness. Director Steven Spielberg even cried and offered him the role on the spot and just said, yep, this kid's got it. He's in. That's awesome.
Pretty neat, yeah.
Yeah, like, I think he's so good.
I do think all of the actors in the movie are fantastic. there's just a few times where I think the dialogue is like a little off the rails, and it's just like a little too cluttered, where like they're all kind of yelling at the same time, and it's like just a little too chaotic, I think, for me.
Okay. I could see that. Yeah, let's see. Elliot, I like... Elliot leads E.T. to his room with Reese's Pieces, and like the hand grabbing the Reese's Pieces is awesome. The filmmakers had originally requested M&Ms to be used, but the Mars company denied the request, fearing that E.T. was so ugly he would frighten children. Reese's Pieces were instead used. As a direct result of this, Reese's sales skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Because of this, more and more companies began requesting their products be used in movies. This movie almost basically like helped invent product placement, which is insane.
Yeah.
So,
well, this movie's probably the only reason that Reese's Pieces are even like known to anyone.
Yeah. What's crazy is the Hershey company that owns Reese's Pieces were so grateful to Steven Spielberg for the boost in sales that the film provided their product, the Reese's Pieces, they gave him a life supply of candy. Every year, just prior to Halloween, this is a quote, I received 100 cases of Reese's Pieces, Spielberg explained. At first, it was fun. We'd give out candy to kids who were trick-or-treating, or we would hand them out to guests in our offices. But it's been over 40 years now, and I'm still getting these things each and every year, and I'm sick of them. Everyone at Amblin Entertainment is sick of them. David Geffen, Jeffrey Katzenberg, George Lucas, Harrison Ford, all my kids, all my grandkids, we're all sick of these darn candies, but there's no way to stop them. I cannot get through to anyone at Reese's to get them to stop. One time I got through and talked to someone, but instead of stopping the shipments, they doubled them. I can't even watch E.T. now without retching every time I see those horrible little candies on the screen. I even contemplated using CGI to change them to M&Ms like I had originally planned, but I'm afraid I'd be sued. If anyone else is reading this, please stop sending me any more Reese's Pieces. I've got them coming out of my tuchus, which is Yiddish for ass.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's so great. I love that. Like, fuck. I can only imagine. I love that E.T. is a puppet and a fully workable puppet. Most of the full-body puppetry was performed by a 2-foot, 10-inch tall stuntman. But the scenes in the kitchen were done with a 12-year-old boy who was born without legs, but was an expert walking on his hands. Spielberg approached Rick Baker about doing the designs for E.T. while Baker was prepping for American Werewolf in London, which we've done a review on, which is an awesome movie. If you haven't seen it, go check that one out.
Yeah.
Baker did a number of designs and tests before Spielberg became furious at Baker for requesting more time and more money after the initial story changed, leading to a falling out between them for some time. Spielberg next approached Chris Wallace, who we know from The Fly, who created the special effects in that, who was booked to work with David Cronenberg on Scanners, which we also did a review for. Spielberg then approached Rob Bottin, who was working with Carpenter on The Thing. Spielberg finally went to Carlo Rambaldi, whom Spielberg had worked with on Close Encounters, and Rambaldi took the job. But very cool 80s trivia of going through the who's who of special effects people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the effects are great in this movie. I think, although E.T. looks a little goofy, and especially in today's day and age, I think it still holds up really well, and I think looks excellent. I mean, even just like the glistening, like slime of the alien skin almost is awesome in this.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the practicality of the effects makes it very timeless. The few times where, I mean, this isn't CGI, it's, whatever, some other kind of special effect, but like the couple times where it's not like a real practical effect aren't even that, bad. Like it's, Like the one time I'm thinking of is when he starts making the stuff float in the closet.
Yeah. Like balls.
Which doesn't even look that bad. You know, like it actually looks pretty damn good. Especially considering how shitty some effects are in recent years.
Oh, yeah.
Using computers. So, yeah, I mean, it's, again, practical effects are almost always best.
Yeah. I wish more movies did it this day and age. They don't. They cheapen out for CGI, which is not cheapening out in a sense.
No.
It's more expensive.
A lot usually of times it's more expensive.
And it looks worse. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I liked Alien Romulus so much, because they used a lot of practical effects.
Yeah.
But I like that Elliot shows E.T. his like Star Wars action figures, which are really cool. We were just talking about in our last episode how or at least I played with Star Wars action figures, so that was cool. I love that little connection. The siblings' introduction to E.T., so the big brother and the little sister, them getting introduced. You've got Michael and Gertie. Gertie is played by Drew Barrymore, who is excellent in this. Michael, Robert McNaughton, if I'm pronouncing that right. He's great in this, too. I love their introduction. At one point, Gertie looks down at E.T. and says, "I don't like his feet," which that was apparently ad-libbed by Drew Barrymore and was actually referencing to the grouping of wires coming out of E.T.'s puppet feet. She also ad-libbed the line, "Give me a break," after Elliot tells her only little kids can see E.T. So, like, this is her first one. I think this is not her first role. It was Altered States.
Oh, yeah.
She plays the daughter in that movie, which we've also done a review on that movie. So a lot of references here. At one point during filming, Drew Barrymore was consistently forgetting her lines, annoying Spielberg to the point where he actually yelled at her. He later found out that she had reported to work with a very high fever. Feeling guilty, he hugged her and apologized repeatedly as she cried and cried. He then sent her home with a note from her director saying, like, "You're okay to go home." Pretty funny. Spielberg also shoots this movie. We talked about it in, I forget what, I think Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. We talk about how his movies have this childlike wonder to them.
Yeah.
And this movie is obviously no exception to that. It is very child-focused and driven, and Spielberg shoots most of the film at the eye level of a child to connect E.T. and Elliot. And they obviously are connected in the movie. They feel each other's feelings, which is really cool.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, almost all shots are looking at least slightly up.
Yeah.
Which definitely puts you in that kind of, like, child's world where, like, everything is, big and, a little weird, and, like, it's, like, throws you a little bit,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's shot super well. I love it. So I like how they, like I said, they feel each other's feelings, and you get E.T. like drinking a Coors Light or a Coors beer, a banquet it looked like, or just a Coors beer.
Yeah.
And Elliot feels that at school and is like drunk and his eyes are all fucked up and stuff. I thought that was funny. I like when Elliot frees all the frogs and kisses the girl. I thought that scene was pretty cool, and it just how it like connects to the one movie that E.T.'s watching. I loved that. Like that was super cool. Then Elliot, E.T. learns how to speak, which is great, and I love Elliot's like realizing he can speak, which is really cool. E.T.'s voice was provided by Pat Welsh. an elderly woman who lived in Marin County, California. Welsh smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day, which gave her a voice, her voice a quality that sound effects creator Ben Burt liked. She spent 9.5 hours recording her part and was paid $380 by Burt for her services. Burt also recorded 16 other people and various animals to create E.T.'s voice. These included Spielberg, Deborah Winger, Burt's sleeping wife who had a cold, a burp from his USC film professor, as well as raccoons, sea otters, and horses. Which I love. I love E.T.'s voice, especially when he's ouch and his finger illuminates and he heals Elliot's finger when he cuts it on the saw blade. Which I love. It's just, yeah, I mean, this is, it's so good, man. I love this movie, and there's such great trivia. It's so good. I like the Halloween, like them in Halloween, like going to Halloween and dressing up, and E.T. kind of posing as Gertie, and like the camera flashes and E.T. falls back, which is hilarious. And then you get E.T. in the bike making him fly for the first time, and you get the amazing soundtrack from John Williams. I mean, again, it's. I think this movie is a freaking masterpiece, man. And they try to phone home, and they like build that signal, that antenna, which is really cool. And then they start to get sick, and you get the space people that come in, which I thought that's a little goofy rewatching it this time. Like, you've got these NASA astronauts in space uniforms coming in the house. Like, that's very Spielberg, in my opinion, of him just being like, let's throw that in there. That's going to be cool, and kids are going to love that. Just, have them go through the window and look scary. Yeah. That's very young Spielberg, I feel like. I don't know. What'd you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, watching it with my wife, she's like, why are there astronauts? I was like, I don't know. You just gotta roll with it.
Had she seen it prior?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an easy. She has this like amazing ability to like always watch a movie for the first time.
That's pretty good talent, actually.
Yeah, I don't know if she just forgets everything or what, but yeah,
that's funny. Yeah, and then, I mean, like, all those government people, and then E.T. dies, which is crazy. And they try and save E.T. And what's cool is Spielberg hired all these doctors to actually he just said, just basically do what you would do for a real patient if this happened. And that's all off the cuff. Like, that's all them being real, which is crazy. Because he's like, I couldn't script that. He's like, I don't want fake people doing that. It's not going to look real. Like, let's make it look real, which is hilarious coming from a children's movie about an extraterrestrial, But I like that, E.T. comes back to life, and I think it's because Elliot says, I love you, and that like his heart starts glowing or whatever, his internals start glowing. I think that's what brings him back to life. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that was like probably the laziest part of the movie. I'm not gonna like knock it too much because like obviously he can't just like bite it, Yeah. But yeah, I just thought it was like
a little cheesy.
Yeah, a little cheesy, and then he's like, "Oh, your ship's nearby," or it's like he says something like that, and he's like, "Well."
No, he's like, phone home, phone home, phone home.
Yeah. It's like,
I love that part.
It's like, all right, whatever,
Yeah,
it
is
brush
a little
by
cheesy.
that. Let's keep going,
And then you get them trying to escape with E.T., his brother Michael, and Elliot, and he like calls for his buddies on the bikes. And they're like all pro BMX fucking bikers, which is kind of hilarious. Like even their stunt doubles, like Elliot is like 3 times the size in his stunt double, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
I thought that's really noticeable. Again, I mean, we're watching these movies in 4K, so stuff is somewhat noticeable, more so than it probably was in '82 when it came out.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few scenes, even in the beginning, when E.T.'s supposed to be in, like, shadow, and you can, like, clearly see him.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I did like the line that Michael says, where he's like, I've only driven backwards.
Yeah. Also, their Audi that they have is sick.
Yeah.
I love that Audi. That thing's cool. Yeah, I mean, the family dynamic is really well done in this movie. Spielberg is good with the family dynamics in his movies.
Yeah. The one thing that, like, there's the one scientist or, like,
Isn't that Keith?
ufologist, you know,
Isn't that
that's
Keith?
like. So I don't know. I don't think they ever really address, like, who he is. You know, like, obviously, I like not having
that's
seen
Keith.
this. Is it okay?
Yeah. The guy who's
I feel like-
do you want to say goodbye to E.T.? That guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Keith.
Okay.
That's the guy in the beginning.
Must have missed the connection there or something. But, like, I almost thought that was going to be
A
their
love
dad.
interest? Oh,
No,
in general?
their dad, like, and that's why he's, like, gone all the time, is because he's a fucking, like, government alien hunter or
Yeah.
something. But, like, I don't know. I thought that was it's a weird kind of thing to, like, kind of that they shoehorned in there, and, like, he's not all that impactful. I feel like there could have been something else that they did with that to make it a little bit more, like, meaningful, but
Sure.
I don't know.
I could see that.
Being a little
I mean,
nitpicky, I think.
yeah, you are. I like how he, like, has a change of heart in a sense, even though he's, like, always. I feel like he's always been a good guy. Like, you think he's going to be the bad guy, just with how he's
I don't
portrayed.
like dislike him as a character. I just feel
Yeah.
like there's something that there's a little bit more that could have been done with him.
I could see that. I think at the end they could have been like. I mean, this is just me thinking about it. I thought about it while I was watching it. It's like him and the mom were gonna, like, hey, like, you want to go on a date type of thing.
Yeah, like
That's kind of the vibe I got. But
yeah,
it's like he's helping her and helping
right.
them.
Like some other type of thing to make his character a little bit more integrated into
Yeah.
you know, the fabric of the story, you know.
I could see that. It didn't bother me too much. I like that their bikes fly again, and you get the iconic, like, you know, silhouette sun moon scene, and that's obviously the Amblin, which is Spielberg's production company, Amblin Entertainment. You've got that logo created from this, which is cool. Yeah, I mean, the movie's so, like, it's emotional at the end. It's really good. And they're all saying goodbye to E.T. And, like, E.T.'s like, I'll be right here. And points to Elliot's forehead, which I love. Did Jenna cry?
She left, like, 3/4 of the way through because she was going to.
It's an emotional ending. I'm definitely, like, I, like,
the
fight back a little
ending-
bit. I'm like, oh, I'm getting soft to my old age.
Yeah. Like, they did a really, really good job of not making it over the top and cheesy in that aspect, you know?
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. I feel like you could, like, I almost want to see, and again, I hate remakes and stuff for the most part. It's like, I want to see almost a modern version of this. But not like
I
a
know what you
remake.
mean.
Not like a remake, but like an alien comes and I don't know. I had a movie idea like that, kind of, that I came up with. Similar
I
ish.
just,
It's
like,
not the
don't
same.
think anybody would do it
Well,
right. You know? Yeah.
yeah, I can tell you about my movie idea after we finish recording. But yeah, I like how the movie ends, how it starts. You have E.T. obscured, and he's obscured by the ramp, and you have his inner glow, and like that shot's awesome. According to Spielberg, none of the children were acting at the end. They had to act through a movie in a chronological order, and never saw the E.T. costume without an actor inside, let alone the actor without the costume. When the ending was filmed, they actually had befriended the alien and now had to say goodbye forever. Their heartbreak was real, which is an excellent choice of direction.
Yeah.
To do that. Like, that's so great. I mean, it's also kind of like mean to the little kids, but it's like really, that's such a great way to direct it, because you get such a raw, true performance out of these, naive children, if you will.
Yeah, it's like dropping Alan Rickman 30 feet.
Yeah. Yeah. Die Hard reference. Harrison Ford had actually filmed a cameo for this movie. He was Elliot's school headmaster. Basically, so Melissa Matheson wrote the movie. That was Harrison Ford's girlfriend at the time. So they lobbied for him to make an appearance. Ford eventually agreed, and as with most of the characters up to the point in the film, his face would not be seen. This scene eventually made its debut on the Laserdisc release. Did you have this on Laserdisc?
I don't think so. I think we had it on VHS.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you'd almost be taken out of the movie if you saw Harrison Ford in this.
Yeah, it's I think the nice thing about this movie is that there aren't any like massive stars in it.
Yeah.
It's like more believable, Agreed. At least helps keep you in it. So yeah, I think that would be like, I don't think that'd be beneficial.
Yeah, agreed. So there was some controversy with the re-release of this movie in 2002. Spielberg spent $100,000 on the 20th anniversary re-release. The new version, also released theatrically and on DVD, contained some additional scenes, small CGI enhancements. I don't know if you remember this, but I do. Small enhancements of the E.T. puppet, and in the scene where Elliot and his friends escape from the FBI, the rifles and guns are held by the federal agents are replaced with walkie-talkies. Did you ever hear about this controversy? No? Oh, people were pissed. Spielberg stated he always regretted using this scene in the first place, and that he would remove it if he ever reissued the film, which he did. In 2011, he changed his mind again, and that he said there'd be no more alterations to this, and urged people to watch the original unaltered version. And so the Blu-ray and 4K versions were later released with the original theatrical cut.
Him and George Lucas going back and dicking around with their shit.
I know. I don't like that. I've been watching Star Wars after we watched Empire. We've been watching other stuff.
We've been watching Star Wars nonstop for the past 2 weeks.
Nice. We were watching Return of the Jedi, and there's some CGI in that where I'm like, ooh, like that was added. And like,
yeah,
why?
I mean, it's like obvious when it's added in. It's like, just leave it alone.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, you made it at that time. It's a product of that time.
Right.
That's why I love 80s movies, It's like,
Lucas is just kind of a hoe for CGI. Like, I don't know.
I think he was a hoe because of how he made Phantom Menace and the other movies.
Yeah, like, I mean,
because it was so advanced, and he's just
the CGI in the prequels is actually like pretty freaking incredible.
I agree.
But it doesn't belong in the original trilogy.
Yeah,
and it's like glaringly obvious when it appears.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because it always gets controversial with this stuff where it's like, why are you adding shit? You don't need to. Like, the movie's already been released. Just leave it alone. I get it, though. It's like it's your baby, and sometimes you when you made it, you wish you could have done something a little better, and you want to go back and tweak it, but it's not worth it. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm glad I own this movie on 4K. Again, I like rewatching it for this podcast, and again watching it on June 11th, the anniversary date that it came out, is wild. I can't believe that. I love this movie. Like, I didn't realize how much I loved this movie until I watched it this time. Because I wonder if I logged it in Letterboxd, but I hadn't watched it in quite a while. Let's see if I can find when I last watched it, if it'll tell me. If I logged it, even. Sugar Activity. Rewatched.
Yeah, I'm glad we watched it. Obviously, it's a box office monster.
Yep.
I think this would be the highest grossing movie that we watched this month. I'm pretty sure.
Out of the
5 that we're watching this month, I'm pretty sure it is.
Total gross. Like I said, it was like $7.97.
Was Empire bigger?
I don't know. That's a great question. We probably should look that up, especially for this time of month. Total gross. E.T. Like I said, I think it was like 800 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worldwide. Total gross. Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. 540 million. So E.T.'s bigger.
Yeah.
Superman 2 is probably not as big.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it in our reviews too, and then Terminator 2. We're gonna get to that. It's 500. So this is the highest grossing for sure. But we'll have to at the end of the. See, the only thing is we're cheating with next week's episode of Terminator 2. I was gonna say, like, what's the best highest grossing 80s movie, and it's probably E.T. Like, I still, is E.T. better than Empire? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's definitely better than Superman 2, though.
We still have end of the month will be Coming to America,
which I've actually never seen.
Oh, really?
I've seen parts of it, but I don't think I've seen it completely. So
that was also a box office monster, I think.
Let's find out, and we're going to talk about it in our review. We're kind of jumping ahead here a little bit. Because usually we do that on the last episode of the month. 300 million almost, which is huge for a small movie like that.
Yeah.
So, like, it made more than Superman 2.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. So, yeah, I'm super glad we watched this movie. I love E.T. If you have not seen it, you're doing yourself a disservice. It's such a great movie. This is our 99th episode, which is crazy. Our next episode is the big old 100, and we're doing, and breaking the rules, we're doing Terminator 2, which is like Jake and I's favorite movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this review, and buckle up for the next review, because Terminator...
Listen to us
Terminator
rant about how good Terminator 2 is for 2 hours next week.
Hopefully it's not that long. That's a long video. We'll see. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week.
Yep, see ya.